Hello everyone. Okay, today I want to make a quick study of this picture. Okay. And I'm using Krita. I published several posts on my social media about my switch from Photoshop to Krita. And this is one of my first session about using Krita. My first live session. I've been using Krita for almost a month, and I feel very comfortable with this drawing software because it's very customizable. You can see here all the tools is almost the same configuration as Photoshop, and the software is very light. So let's start with the study. I selected this picture from Unsplash. I put the link in the description if you want to see the picture bigger. And as I said, I'm going to make a fast study, a quick study. I'm not going to detail it. I'm not going to detail it so much. So let's start. One thing I have to say is that you can download my brushes that now are compatible with Krita as well. You can see here all the brushes. Oh, and one more thing, the cursor. Okay. The cursor with the stylus, because it's more visible to follow it's better to follow the strokes and the painting with the more visible cursor. So let's start with the study. This will be a fast study. I'm not going to give a lot of detail. I'm going to make this picture bigger. I like Krita also because you can do this thing. In Photoshop you can add a reference of the canvas. Here you can have the canvas and the reference where you want. And doesn't affect to the canvas. For example, if I paint here, oops, the canvas continues with the same behavior, but you have a reference always visible. One moment. I'm moving my windows. Okay, so let's start. The first I always do is to separate the composition and simplify the shapes. So I'm going to pick the basic king and choose a saturated color. Oh, also you have here the current color I'm using and the current brush here in the bottom area. Okay, so There are three areas, maybe 4, because these 3 could be considered another big area. The sky one, the middle area and the background area, we can merge together because it's almost the same area, and the foreground, this area. Almost all areas are in shadow area, and the focus point is here. Here there is nothing interesting here, but we can add something later. But I don't know because it's just a simple study. So let's start compositing the structure, the main structure. Okay, here is. One area. Here's the tree. And here the. Maybe this composition is not the better composition because it is not good to have this middle division composition. Is not very good, so we can move the composition down. Maybe something like this. And going to erase. Sorry, I'm still not 100% familiarized with Krita. I don't know where is the eraser. I have the eraser on the pencil, on the stylus, but I don't know where is the tool. Here I have to configure the eraser in the toolbar. That doesn't matter. Okay, so the new composition, maybe we have to merge a bit more this area, or make it more horizontal. Maybe something like this. And the tree appears from here. And here the background trees. Now maybe I'm going to modify a bit the foreground. Going to do it smaller, this area, maybe from here. From here and the tree. We can add another area here. Maybe this area. Yes, I think this composition is better. The middle, this line is not exactly in the middle of the. We can move a bit more. Soft proofing, what is this? Soft proofing. Can move a bit more down. Yeah, something like this is okay, it's okay. Okay, I think this is good. So let's start with blocking in. I'm going to use the flat brush. I have to find how to organize my brushes because in Krita I have the different organization or arrangement than Photoshop, and sometimes I spend a lot of time searching for one brush. I always had the flat brush at the top, and now it's here in the middle. Okay, set the flat brush here. Okay. I'm going to select a blue color for the sky, a very saturated blue. Just maybe like this. And the brush tool here. I'm going to smooch a bit. Okay, now it's a bit softer. I like that is not a perfect gradient. I like this texture sometimes because it's more painterly. Oh, in a new layer, I'm going to paint maybe the background trees. I'm not going to paint exactly the same trees. I'm only have this picture as reference, not for copy exactly the same image. So I'm going to make a simpler trees here because it's just a practice. I'm not going to complicate very much. Okay. I'm going to pick the distant trees soft brush. No, maybe the distant trees hard. Okay, this one. And saturated green, maybe not much. Okay, and now this is very contrasted image, but I want a bit of depth, so I'm going to mix a bit the color with the background. Usually I paint on background and pick the opacity, the color mixed with a bit of opacity. So I pick here this color. Okay, at this stage I don't care very much the precision. I'm more focused on the composition and the big shapes. And later, little by little, I will detailing a bit more the shapes. Okay, the light comes from the top right. Maybe from here. Okay, so we have to add a bit more shadow here at this area. A bit more dark. Okay, it represents that those group of trees are farther than those ones. So those ones have the saturated colors. So the contrast, the saturation and contrast increase from here to here because it represents that those trees are closer to the viewer than those ones, and maybe those ones are also at the same distance as those ones. Yes, those are farthest than those. Of course, I'm not use the colors of the colors as reference, only the composition. I'm using the typical, the typical colors, anime style colors, ghibli style colors, more stylized and cartoonish. Okay, for now, the structure of those trees are okay. I'm going to continue with at first with this tree. I'm going to add a new layer. And this tree will be more contrasted. Okay, I'm going to erase. At first, I'm going to erase this. Okay, this tree, because of is nearest to us, I'm going to use because as I said, here in Krita I have the brushes in other arrangement, with other positions, and I'm still have to search in the list. Tree top, yes, this is the tree top basic shape. And in a new layer, okay, this is very close to the viewer, so it's very dark. I'm going to use a darker green. No, distant tree, no, the tree top basic shape. Okay, here I'm going to make color variations because it's closer and it needs more detail. High 6. Okay, here at the bottom area is not and the right area is darker than at the left area because it's touched by the ambient light. So we have to create a soft gradient from the right to the left, and saturated at the top. As I said, I'm not going to use the colors of the image, but I get the reference of the light. The light it's also a good reference in this picture. But with the anime style colors, using the anime style colors. It's like the background trees. I'm not use these yellowish colors. I'm use my greens, my bluish greens, but I respecting the lights a bit. It's not the same exact light, but at this area there is light like here, but with my own style and my own composition. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I'm going to add more light at this area. Remember one more time, you can download the brushes I'm using in my digital store, and you can also download from my store my Krita workspace. You can download and import in your Krita this workspace, the exact workspace I'm using here. If you want to try it, I like this workspace, sorry, because it's almost the same workspace I had in Photoshop, so I feel very comfortable with this software because that reason. Okay, I think that this tree is the level of detail is almost this. I will add more details and leaves and some branches later. Now I'm going to solve this area with the brush. The rectangles of brush is very nice for filling big areas. I'm going to put the layer here behind the tree. Okay. The most complicated area in this image maybe is the tree, because it is not the focus area, but it's a very big point of interest. Not the focus point. The focus point is here, is this area, but there is nothing too interesting here. Only the shadows and the light. But the tree and maybe the foreground have a lot of texture and details. I'm not going to add the exact texture and a lot of details, but I think it's difficult because a tree is always difficult if you want to paint a tree very close to the viewer. Because it's very difficult to represent all the bumps of the trees, respecting the, I don't know how to explain the actual structure of the tree. Here, the plants here and the vegetation here is easier. Because at the end is a flat surface with a texture, but a tree is like a 3D sphere or 3D ball, but bumped with a lot of things. Sorry, I'm analyzing the picture. Okay. Okay. As I said, I'm going to use more bluish tones, bluish shades. This image is more yellow shades, but I like more for this style the yellow. I mean more bluish shades. So let's go with this area. Maybe this green. You can see that almost never I use the direct color I pick. If you already have colors in your illustration, a good practice is to paint a bit and mix a bit with the surrounding colors to have a more integrated shade. It's like a traditional painting. When you want to paint a new area, you usually mix the color with the already color you have in your palette. With the already color you have mixed in your palette. Okay, for now I'm going to paint darker the shadow. Also, you can see I'm constantly change the color a bit, no? Just a bit, because it's if you choose a color and paint all with the same color, you only get a plain surface and monotone surface. It's important that create color variations for righteous texture and righteous colors on the overall image. Okay, darker at the bottom. I'm going to add a bit of orange, just a bit. Okay, here instead of painting the shadows, I'm going to paint the lights. I'm going to use the smudge tool a bit and smudge the fill. Okay, I'm going to paint the lights on a new layer. And for this I'm going to use the round blend brush. No, the round blend brush, no. The rounded sketch I want to use here, the rounded sketch. And the illumination comes from here and go through the background trees. Okay, I'm not copy exact the same shape of the illumination because I have here different trees and different structures, but the concept is the same. Okay, like as before, I'm going to create a color variations here. I'm going to retouch a bit this background because here there is a mistake. I don't know why I can't use the eraser now. Okay, the effect of light is nice. Maybe I have to increase here the shadow because the separation is too much here. Not too much, is strange, the mix between the two areas. So I'm going to retouch a bit the trees with the tree top basic shape. Okay, this. Okay, and I'm going to merge the these two layers, because I want to work with the two areas, the light and shadow at the same time. So I'm going to merge them in one layer. Okay, continue with this valley and with the round the sketch brush. I'm going to add a bit more of detail to the shadows. And I'm going to add a bit more of light here to increase the effect of the gradient for the layer. Yes, maybe the point is to add more saturation. And sometimes you can, as you can see, I add suddenly a very different color. I selected a very different shade of green, almost yellow, but I'm not apply the exact same color I picked. For example, if I choose this orange, I make a stroke over over the canvas, but just a bit to add a slightly color variation. And I pick with the color picker the mix of this color with the background color, with the color I already have in the canvas, and pick the mix, and you can get a right color mixing. Okay, I think that the texture of this valley, it's okay for now. Yes, I think it's nice. The effect of the shadow looks nice. You can see here how the color variations adds richness to the illustration. It's not just a plain green, a boring plain green. If you constantly add slightly color variations, like I showed you, you can give to the illustration a righteous textures and righteous colors. For example, here I didn't add color variations and looks very plain and very, I don't know, boring, these colors. And for example, on the other hand, on this area, the colors are better. Are yellows, a bit of blue, bluish greens, yellowish greens, a bit of grey. When I understood how the color variations affects to an artwork, I improve a bit my skills, and my illustrations improved a lot, not a bit, a lot. Okay, the goal is to finish this practice today. I'm not going to separate this illustration in several sessions. So I think I'm not going to add much more detail to this tree. I'm going to finish the foreground, some clouds, some details to this tree, on this tree, and that's it. So let's go. I'm going to select for the foreground the flat brush for blocking in, and very dark. Very dark color. No, because okay, I have to refresh how the composition was. Okay, this area is only this. Is only here. I'm going to add one more color variations here, just a bit of blue, bluish green. Now I'm using the flat brush without the pressure of the pen activated. If I activated this shortcut, I can manage the pen pressure and the opacity with the pressure. If I switch and disconnect and disable this switch, I not manage I not have the control of the pressure, and it's better for blocking in a stage where you need to paint roach shapes, and you don't need a lot of control or precision. Okay, I think this for now it's okay. I'm going to blur it with the smudge tool. So you understand why you don't need a lot of precision on the blocking stage, because you have at the on this style you have to blur continuously the texture. For example, the tree I'm not blur it, but I think that when I will add the details, I will have to blur a bit some areas. But the texture is, I like the texture is with the tree top basic shape. The brush I used with the tree, the texture is already blurred, so you don't need to blur very to blur much more. Maybe some here and here maybe, but just it. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking. Okay, the next area is this area. It's almost the same like this one. So I'm going to add a new layer. And maybe with the same color, let's see. And the flat brush one more time. Okay, here I'm going to use a slightly different color. Yes. Okay, I'm going to add now some grass here. With the rounded sketch and grass brush. I don't like so much this grass. I'm going to restart the grass because I don't like it. Yes, maybe the point here is to add a more sharp grass. Into the hard elephant grass. Okay, now I'm just creating the base texture. Okay, and now some blades of grass with a bit more a bit lighter and saturated, not very much, just a bit. Because they have to contrast with the background. Here the vegetation is very thin. I don't make the same vegetation because it's extremely detailed here. I just make basic vegetation, but that works. With vegetation, you also, with this kind of vegetation, the closed vegetation, you also have to make a dark background, dark area to generate this effect of some blades of grass or some flowers or some plants with lighter color to generate this effect of volume and depth. When you go far from the illustration, you can see the effect is nice. It's just a practice, it's not a very detailed illustration, but you can see the effect. And if you put some darker blades on overlapping other ones, the effect is more accentuated. Like this. Okay, and I think that this area I'm going to leave like this, and I'm going to finish the tree, and that's it. Oh, some clouds, and that's it. Okay, I'm not going to add much more detail to the tree because I like the texture of this tree, but some leaves to add a bit more of texture, and just it. Okay, I'm going to with this same brush, the hard leaf and grass, just take advantage of the already shadows and lights we already have, and just add some touches and just and the effect looks nice. Some lighter areas overlaps the shadow areas. You can use a slightly lighter greens. For example, here, a slightly, very slight, very subtle green. It's enough to generate this effect of volume. You can see the effect of the anime style tree just with this simple overlapping on the shadow over the light and light over the shadow. I think it's enough for this tree. I'm going to add some branches. With the front of the sketch brush. I don't like very much the background tree, but I have to detail a bit more because are a bit fluffy, but for this practice is a node. The concept is this. Oops. I don't know what happened. I don't know what. I don't know what is happening. Okay, solved. I don't know what happened. Okay, the clouds and it's finished. Okay, I'm going to paint a simple cloud with the cloud brush. Are very white. One more time. The precision doesn't care because we are going to blur it with a smudge tool. Because to get this effect of fluffiness, I just have to blur the general shape, and after blur it, just blur a bit more the edges. It's not the exact same texture because here is extremely detailed, but this effect of cloud, or this kind of cloud, it's almost the same. Okay, now with the alpha, blocking the alpha of this layer, the alpha is locked now. I'm going to add a bit of shadow at the bottom with the airsoft. Maybe this blue. just a bit. I'm going to maybe the contrast is not the best because the clothes are more contrasted than this area. But it's nice, I think it's nice. Yes, the shape of the clouds are very... I like it. And I think that is finished. This practice is finished, I think. You can see how I simplified all shapes a lot. You don't have to be scared of a complex landscape because you have to analyze it, and it's very useful to do this kind of schemes before you start to paint a landscape, or you think some composition is very difficult. If you make these kind of simple schemes, it helps a lot to understand better the composition, the image, and to simplify the shapes. I don't care the details of the image. For example, I don't care this extremely detailed vegetation. I know this is a vegetation area, so I create my own vegetation area with my style, with my skills, and with my style. It's like this tree. This tree is actually very complex. You can see it's a very complicated tree because it has a lot of bumps, a lot of details, a lot of leaves, a lot of gaps with lot of points of light. But I don't care. I just know that here there is a tree, a big shape of tree, and I make my own tree. The tree that I can paint and with my skills, but with the style I want to represent. I'm not very happy with this area, with the grass area, but because it's at the beginning, this actually is a very early stage from the end of the illustration. Maybe we can add more yellows and other type of plants like these ones. But that's another stage of the illustration. Is if you want to make a final artwork with more details and more objects, more details in general. But for a thumbnail, for a practice is I think is nice. actually I want to practice in this session the area of shadow and lights on the valley, and I think it's nice. It's the focus point, and it's nice. Maybe you cannot hear the character of the main action of the scene. And that's it. Okay, remember that you can download my brushes from my store, and also my Krita workspace. This workspace is, I made this workspace for right-handed users and left-handed users. You can have this if you are left-handed. Sorry for my pronunciation. You can have my workspace for left-handed and for right-handed. This workspace is on me. It's on my store. If you enter to my store where my brushes are, you can also download my workspace for Krita. And that's it. I hope you'll find useful and you enjoyed with this session. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next session.